Sunita. Good morning. How are you?
Hi, fine, thank you, Tina.
Great. Thank you so much for agreeing to speak with us. So today we are going to talk about one of the sessions you have recently concluded as part of your conversations with ODA and TIF program, inclusive leadership.
Really wonderful. I think this is the first time that they did an inclusion certification with TIS and ODA. It was a lot of fun. Learning just in a 2-hour session because we had all curated the design together. The way I bring inclusion to a space and the way you bring inclusion to the space can be so uniquely different. And in that uniqueness and in that diversity, if we could just celebrate inclusion as a phenomena, at the end of the day, can we just not have people experiencing exclusion? And that's so much to do with leadership, Tina. For me, it was like, hey, how else do you create inclusive places or spaces without watching out for your own leadership? How do you really create inclusion to happen without bringing your own leadership into the picture?
It sounds like you had a lot of fun. What place does inclusive leadership have in today's time?
I think particularly during the pandemic, I'm seeing that whole control model, just crumbling. There is no way you can control performance. There's no way you can control outcomes. There's no way you can control results. The only thing that you can probably control, if at all, is just yourself and what you bring to the space. And even as I say this, I'm very mindful of the fact that people love to be inspired and fired up by leadership. So people do want to see others who know the way, go the way, show the way. So in these times of pandemic particularly, I'm seeing that there's no longer a role of me cracking the whip on you and getting you to perform. It's about how do you be the leader that you are and how do you allow others to bring in their leadership or bring on their leadership. So the pull factor and the inspired leadership piece, which if you can be authentically inclusive, you're bound to inspire. First is the control piece. The second, I clearly see flatter structures. There's just no way we can work with the hierarchical, laborious, humongous structures. They've got to crash down because we really are competing with forces where we need to see results like yesterday. It was always a challenge. Speed was always a challenge. But today, thanks to technology, you can do business at the speed of thought. This is about structures and systems and processes, policies, programs. It's no longer that linear way of doing it. It's simultaneity is the only principle that works.
What does inclusive really mean to you? What is the spectrum of inclusion for you?
I think the buzz around inclusion has increased in the last 10 years, and I worked with RBS and Genpact later. I was one of the first few people to work with unconscious biases as early as 2013. I understood so much about how globally inclusion meant certain things. I don't want to talk too much about sexual orientation as a very important aspect, or having people physically challenged as a special aspect of Indian diversity and inclusion. So when it comes to language, it comes to dialects, there is so much diversity in India. And what we're sitting on is a global definition of inclusion. And some of the local challenges, I would say, in organizations have nothing to do with sexual orientation, nothing to do with some of the more common definitions of diversity and inclusion today. So in short, inclusion to me means being able to make your team rock with all its diversity, with all its nuance. I'm a firm believer that inclusion, if the intent to include is in place, there's nothing that will stop us to create inclusion today. Nothing.
So tell us what makes a good inclusive leader. How can one become an inclusive leader?
Tina, I think one very important thing, which compulsiveness around pace. I think slowing down is a necessary part of inclusion. You could have members in your team who really don't get what you are saying. And if you cannot slow down to include them, and if you feel that you don't need to listen, and it's okay that you haven't tapped into that one engineer in your team who hasn't spoken right from the beginning, because he's just not with you and not aligned with you, and it's okay for you to go ahead. you haven't listened and you haven't slowed down and you haven't included or you haven't accommodated. So, to your question, listening, slowing down, holding an intent or holding a space for people to perform is a big ask in leadership.
I think that's a great thought because that's what makes a great team. You have a leader by definition, but what you're saying is that everybody is a leader in the team and they all lead together.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thought. Just my last question on this. What do you think the organizations today can do to build inclusive leaders?
Shared leadership, collaborative leadership, or even distributed leadership, or even the concept of leadership from below. And I would say these 5, including inclusive leadership, 6 are subjects which are more or less the same, but wearing different lenses. You know, in the marketplace, if we want our organization to be leading, then we have to trust and believe that all of us are leaders. I think that's one spirit that I would love organizations to pick up and work with. The task is huge, the ask is big, no doubt, but it's very much possible. So that's one. The second is structures and systems, processes, philosophies, policies of the organization, ensuring that they're built around inclusion. Because you couldn't be making inclusion happen on the ground if your policies are not talking to them directly. Team leadership and this second point of having your policies more tuned in.
Great, thank you so much. Any last parting thoughts on inclusive leadership?
Yeah, I think we included a very new cutting edge thought in our program, inclusive design thinking. And we said that all products and services in today's day and age, all offerings, so to say, to the market, need to have inclusion at the heart of it. Every offering in the market can be designed around inclusion. So that's what we did in our current work, and we want to showcase that as a new thing. But at CEEE, we want to teach inclusive leadership, inclusive workplaces, inclusive design thinking, inclusion at the heart of how we manage. So within management itself, we could teach inclusion. And of course, within leadership, it would be more artistic and we could bring in many other things. But within the science of management itself, I think building in inclusion is so necessary today. And I think at CEEE, we are ready to do that.
Great, thank you. Thank you so much, Sunita. That's all the time we have today. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts of inclusive leader and inclusive leadership with us and what organizations can do to really bring that out space in their own organization. So thank you so much. We look forward to seeing your work in this field more often and chat with you again. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Tina, for curating this lovely program. Thank you so much. God bless. Bye-bye.